A mysterious island hidden from the world, a land with magnificent beasts and amazing scenery. A myth to the outside world, or so we thought. A kid named Sean receives a coded message from his grandfather, claiming to have found the island. The movie starts with a teenager named Sean riding a motorcycle. He is being chased by the police, so he decides to ride into his neighbor's backyard. He uses his bike to jump to the next house, falling into a pool. The police come and get him out of the pool. They give him a blanket and take him to the ambulance. Sean's stepfather, named Hank, comes to get him. The police tell him that Sean is being arrested for breaking into a communication center. Hank decides to talk to Sean, but Sean passes him by. They get home and Sean's mother, named Liz, tries to talk to her son. He leaves to his room without answering any of their questions. Hank goes to Sean's room the following day to talk to him. He sees Sean trying to decode a message. With Hank being an ex-military, he helps Sean decipher the message. The message says that the island is real. Hank and Sean start to look for clues on how to find the island. They come across 3 books and compare them. They find 3 different islands in the 3 different books. Hank tears the 3 maps and places them under a strong light. It shows that the maps are different parts of one island. Sean starts to pack up his things when Hank stops him. Sean tells Hank that the message was sent by his grandfather, named Alexander Anderson, and that the coordinates show that the island is at Paulo. Hank talks to Liz about this and she decides to let them go. Sean is happy when Hank brings him his visa. His face changes when he finds out he has to go with Hank. They get to their location and it turns out that Hank is afraid of lizards. They meet with a father and daughter named Gabito and Kailani. Hank asks the duo to help take them to the island. Kailani charges more than her dad and says that the location they want to go is the deadliest part of the ocean. They board the helicopter and soar into the sky. They meet a moving hurricane and get sucked into it. Gabito tells them that he has lost control of the chopper and they are taken by the storm. Sean wakes up to Hank asking him to get up. They find a cave leading into the island. They are mesmerized when they see that the mysterious island is real. They see a full-grown elephant as the size of a baby. Sean reads in one of the books about the mysterious island that small animals become big and big animals become small. They begin their journey to find Sean's grandfather to use his communication device to send a message to the outside world for help. They start to walk on some rocks when they suddenly hear a crack. They realize they were walking on eggs and Gabito falls into one. He comes out and the mother of the egg wakes up. She chases after them and they flee. She sets her attention on Gabito and Kailani. Sean draws the attention of the lizard to himself. They are cornered and Hank punches the animal, making it extra mad. Some huge logs start swinging around, hitting and knocking the lizard out. Alexander comes out and Gabito applauds him. Hank introduces himself as the man who helped crack his message, and also as Sean's stepfather. Alexander snubs him and asks the rest of the group to follow him. He takes them to his hideout and tells them about an adventure he is going to take them the following day. They are seen walking through some fruit trees. Sean tries to ask Kailani out after they leave the island. He messes up and Hank comes to him. Hank tells him to do the breast dance when he sees her again. Hank asks Sean to throw a berry but he refuses. Gabito starts throwing berries at Hank and he uses his chest to hit them all away. Alexander brings them to the lost city of Atlantis and tells them that it has a cycle it follows. It spent half of its life on the surface and the other half on land. He tells them that the island will be on land till 14 years. Hank sees seawater and says otherwise. He says they have 3 days maximum and proves it by showing the level of the water in the place. They decide to use a submarine, which is for a legendary captain named Nemo. They decide to go to his tomb and take his journal. Kailani decides to go and she takes the book from Nemo's skeleton. The place starts to crumble and Kailani barely gets out. They set out through some gigantic bean plant following the map. Alexander sees some huge ants and decides not to tell the others. They see a volcano erupting gold and decide to check it out. Hank says it will make them fall behind time and might die if the island goes under the sea. They find themselves at the bottom of a mountain when they have to be at the top. Alexander climbs a mountain B and asks the others to do same. Huge bird droppings fall on Gabato when they realize that the bird is also big. The birds chase them through the trees and the crew try to loose them. Sean flies into the sky when the bird hits Kailani off. Sean barely saves her. We see Hank and Alexander working together to loose the birds following them. Sean leaves Kailani and the bird follows him. He leads the bird to a spider web and traps it. He loses focus and falls off, breaking his leg in the process. They relocate his ankle back and play a song. They all fall asleep using plant leaves as beds. They wake up in the morning to see Gabato gone to take some of the gold. Alexander decides to help Kailani look for her father. He also asks Sean and Hank to go look for the submarine. Alexander and Kailani go to meet Gabato, trying to pull out a huge lump of gold. Kailani talks her father out of it and he lets it go. Hank and Sean get to the submarine. They realize that it is under the sea. They keep their devices safe and get into the ocean. They are about to open the submarine when they see a gigantic eel coming their way. They barely escape and get into the machine. They realize that it needs electricity and a horrific idea comes in their brains. Hank dresses up and stands on the machine. The eel attacks him and throws a spear to pierce the eel. Their machine is powered and they start the machine. Alexander, Gabato, and Kailani are being swallowed up. They accept their deaths when the submarine come to take them away, saving their lives in the process. Hank asks Gabato to drive the submarine as he loads a missile. A rock appears in front of them and they use the missile to destroy it. Kailani and Sean kiss and they get home safely. Gabato calls his daughter who now lives with Sean. He cuts the line as we see him with the submarine. Alexander comes with a book with the title, Journey to the Moon, as they all get prepared to embark on this new adventure. The moral of the story is, a little adventure can bring a broken family together.